On a breakaway, scores!
Big hit at the blue line.
And he got waffleboarded. What a save!
He shoots, he scores.
Drives in, score!
This is the Six Hockey.
Welcome back to the Six Hockey. I'm Samuel Brzozowski, joined alongside Simon Sticky Hands Hendricks. We are here back again in the studio for a game between the Vaughan Kings and the Mississauga Senators. Both teams coming off wins in their first game of the season. Both teams look like they can make a splash in this league. Simon, I'm pretty pumped for this one. These are two teams that we know have some guys who could really go far in their hockey careers.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Obviously, for the Senators, you have a guy like Arjun Nananbai, one of the best players in this year's GTHL U16 AAA division. And on the Kings, you have a ton of players with high-end talent, guys like Liam Watt, like Liam Nelson. All these guys, they have a complete team, a great game we have in hand for you guys today.
That's right. Of course, it's the captain, Adrian Skro, one of the top-ranked defensemen in the GTHL, who's head manning the Vaughan Kings offense and defense. You know, he's a two-way guy. Simon, let's get right into it. Let's look at these rosters. Starting in goaltender for the Vaughan Kings, it'll be Dimitri Stokes, looking to get his second win of the season. On the other end, it'll be Massimo Tomasi, all-time name there, looking to stop what is an elite offense in the Vaughan Kings. The Vaughan Kings, just 2 years ago, winning the GTHL Cup, coming second in the OHL Cup to the Oakville Rangers. Now, Simon, we mentioned these teams. They have a lot of offensive power. They have a lot of defensive power. Two stacked lineups, to be blunt. Mm-hmm. Who are some guys you're looking out for?
Well, for the Kings, it's got to be the man Liam Watt. I've compared him to a guy like Philip Proberg of the St. Louis Blues. He has a great two-way play. He's able to manage the puck by himself a lot. I expect him to carry the puck into the zone if, the Kings are kind of hemmed in their own zone. Expect him to be the puck carrier coming out of their zone through the neutral zone and lead that offensive charge. He's great at that, and he skates. He's a bit of a smaller guy when compared to some other guys who are already 6'2" and 170 pounds as a 16-year-old, which is crazy, or a 15-year-old, which is crazy.
And not fair.
And not fair. I'm not there just quite yet. Probably won't ever be. But needless to say, he uses his size very well and skates with authority. And for the Mississauga Senators, shifting to focus on some offensive players, we've mentioned him already in this intro. Arjun Nananbai, we saw him torch the Reps team with his offensive ability. He had 2 goals in that game on a couple wicked shots. He is their best player, talking about the Mississauga Senators. He is their best forward. He is their best player. He skates incredibly well. He's got a great shot, similar to the likes of Kevin Fiala. Maybe ceiling maybe a bit higher than Kevin Fiala if we're comparing him to his GTHL competition. But just the way he skates and the way he's able to generate offense by himself with his wicked shot, he's got great potential. I'm really interested to see how he's going to handle himself against a great D-core of the Vaughan Kings.
That's right, and let's not waste any more time. Let's take a look at Liam Watt. Let's take a look at Arjun Nananbai down on the ice. Welcome to Westwood Arena, home of the Vaughan Kings. Tonight, their U16 AAA team takes on the Mississauga Senators. I'm Sammy Brzozowski, joined alongside Simon Sticky Hands Hendricks.
I think that's the second time you've used that nickname. I gotta come up with one for you.
Catching on.
I hope not.
Look at the frosted tips of that guy in the arena as the game is underway. The Vaughan Kings coming off a dominant performance against the Toronto Titans, a game in which they won 7-2. The Senators, a game in which they defeated the Toronto Young Nationals 3-1, thanks in great part to number 22, Arjun Nananbai. He was an absolute force in that game, earning him the Six Hockey first star of the game. He had 2 goals and 1 assist. For the Vaughan Kings, it was basically everyone who got involved, including guys like Presley Elaine, Adrian Skro, the captain, Landon Keefe, Gianluca McClure, to name a few. Everyone was getting involved in the offense.
Everyone was getting involved in the offense, and if you're the Mississauga Senators, you have to come into this game expecting that this Kings team is going to roll out 12 forwards, 6 D-men, all with the intention of putting their best effort forward. An incredibly deep team, and you're hoping that your star, Arjun Nananbai, and his line with Jake Harris is going to get the job done for you.
Yeah, I mean, for the Vaughan Kings, there was a couple guys I didn't even mention that had 2 goals. So it was really everyone on the roster that got involved. Starting in goal for the Mississauga Senators is Massimo Tomasi. And for the Vaughan Kings, it'll be none other than Dimitri Stokes. He got the win in the last matchup as well. Looks to be the starter for this team. Simon, I know we had our players to watch, but is there anyone that you want us to keep an eye on in today's game?
For the Senators, I was really impressed with Robert Knight's play in that game against the Young Nationals. Didn't really light up the scoreboard as much as maybe he would have hoped for. However, he was an incredible two-way player. His fingerprints were all over the game. I use that saying a lot, I know, but it is true. And for the Vaughan Kings, I'm really looking for a good game from Adrian Skro, the captain. Their perhaps number 1 defenseman, you could argue. Captain of a team like this, an incredibly deep team with a lot of talent in there. You know that a lot of pressure's on you to, kind of set your best foot forward from an effort standpoint and from a mentality standpoint. This is a pretty good Mississauga Senators team, a very, high-octane offense from the Mississauga Senators. So, look for the captain to step up in a big way this game.
Yeah, and I mean, he was already effective in that first game as well. One of the top-ranked defensemen in this league. Certainly a force to look out for the Vaughan Kings. No real action so far in this game as there's a battle in the corner through the Sens and the Kings, and it is the Sens that come up with it thanks to Zielinski. The Kings, they gather it back in their own zone, carrying it, trying to get a breakout started as Cabral's line comes on. Bringing it in now is Brody Brown. As that shot is onto the net of Tomasi, he makes a glove save, and it's a face-off inside.
Something I just want to point out getting into this game, we've seen a little bit of back-and-forth action so far, but looks like it has been the Kings who have had most of the possession in the offensive zone so far. We've seen a lot of games early in this GTHL season where it has been usually one team more or less dominating another, controlling a lot of offensive zone time for a majority of the game. Maybe that's going to be the same story here, but like in hockey all the time, if you get outplayed, that doesn't mean you're out of the game. And we know that this Senators team, they are fast. They have good, very skilled forwards. So, although it may seem like the Vaughan Kings are kind of in control of puck possession and maybe get the better grade A scoring opportunities at a much higher volume, I just want to say, don't count out this Senators team until the fat lady sings.
Until the fat lady sings, indeed, as Skro, the captain of the Vaughan Kings, he dumps that one out of the zone. Trying to kickstart the rush through the neutral zone are the Vaughan Kings. Shot there is saved by Tomasi. Sent into the corner behind the net. Who has it? Centering pass is stopped once again by Tomasi. Skro unable to keep that one in the zone. He'll be forced to regroup through the neutral zone. That's dumped in once again as the Vaughan Kings, they go for a line change. Evan Fitzgerald, the forechecker for the Kings, as the Sens, they have it behind their net. The breakout starting through the neutral zone. That one is dumped in. It'll be Jeremy Phillips trying to get the puck off the Vaughan Kings, is unable to do so. Fitzgerald with it now. Fitzgerald, he has Pagani. He elects to take it to the top of the circle as that pass goes right through the crease, and there will be a penalty on the play. It'll be either tripping, it'll be maybe interference. Looks like it'll be called a trip. And the Vaughan Kings, they receive the first power play of the game.
Well, like we were just talking about, the Kings, they seem to be in control of this game so far. That looks like Oliver Lima heading to the penalty box, the big defenseman, number 64. Got beat by his man, and, electing to kind of take his body with the trip there instead of giving up a pretty clear break for Tomasi. Not much you can do there when, the forward skates right past you. The best thing you can do there often is to take a penalty. I'm sure the Senators are looking for a bit of a better start, maybe get their legs underneath them early in this penalty kill, trying to get themselves into the game. However, I'm not incredibly upset with that penalty, as that would have been a breakaway either way.
Yeah, it could have been a backdoor tap-in, as you'll see that Adrian Skro is on here for the Vaughan Kings. The Vaughan Kings, they have quite the talent, 2 units that can really impact the power play, 2 units that can really get shots on net, as Rolston passed that one up to Skro. Skro, he'll dump that one in. He has Fitzgerald forechecking alongside him. Big hit there laid by Skro in the corner. As Fitzgerald, he receives it behind the net. He gets it over to Cloutier. Cloutier with it at the point. Gets it over to Skro. Skro, one-timer opportunity for Rolston, but Rolston fans on that one. Rolston, top of the circle, once again has it. He battles alongside Timmins. beats his man in the corner and receives it on the sideboard. Skro, one-timer is blocked there as Skro keeps it in on the blue line. Gets it over to Cloutier. Cloutier's shot is gloved by Tomasi, and some pushing and shoving there after the whistle. Doesn't look like any penalties will be doled out. Referee might have a conversation there with Rolston, but no penalties on the play.
Well, someone already in the box for the Senators, you don't want to make them go down 5-on-3 this early in the game. But I like them. I like the ref's decision to let them play through that one. First little post-whistle scrum of the game, trying to set the tone for the game the kids are. But at the same time, referees maybe trying to set a precedent for kind of not trying to be as physical might be the message here. So I like the no call, but look for that going forward.
Yeah, perhaps just a warning there as that puck is dumped out of the zone. Fortin was unable to catch that one. Appreciate the Odell effort as it'll be face-off inside the Senator zone with just over 30 seconds left in the power play. Taking the face-off once again will be Cloutier. That could be Cabral as well. These jerseys, I'll tell you, Simon, they make it hard to see the numbers. I believe that is Cabral as Cloutier. He is on the bench. So Cabral, he had the 2-point effort in the game against the Titans, and he looked pretty effective. That's when I said, so nice he did it twice, and Simon was not a fan, but the Vaughan Kings, I'm sure they were a fan of that performance as Cabral gets that one over to the point to Nelson. Nelson shot. That one is fired wide. The Vaughan Kings, they keep it in. Over to Nelson once more. Nelson shot through traffic, as that one is sent behind the net, trying to jam it in out of the Vaughan Kings. But with 9 minutes and 11 seconds left to go, the Vaughan Kings are unable to execute on the power play.
That looked like a shot from the point, maybe not trying to score from the point, but trying to get a tip in front of the net. And honestly, looked like that puck was tipped actually past the net. It looked like that was actually going to hit Tomasi right in the chest, and it was just tipped behind the net. So, good in theory, but just a bit poor in execution. And those tip plays in front of the net are tough.
They are very tough, but we've seen throughout this season that tips can be very effective in this league. As Keefe, he battles that one in front, and it dribbles out to the Vaughan Kings with another opportunity. Hits off the shoulder of Tomasi. Rebound effort from number 17, Gianluca McClure, is deflected out of play by Tomasi. Another face-off inside the zone of the Sens. And like you said, Simon, it does seem like it is the Vaughan Kings controlling all the possession right now.
Yeah, and we are back to 5-on-5. That was a pretty decent penalty kill. Not a ton of grade A opportunities for the Vaughan Kings, although they were in the offensive zone, which seemed like for 100% of that power play, essentially. But, a decent kill, no real fire drills, no real grade A opportunities for the Kings. So if you're the Senators, I think you're feeling pretty good that you came away with that. Tied still 0-0. Let's see if they can gather some momentum after a pretty decent kill.
As they do get it out, as now Kalinski. His shot is sent off the blocker and out of play. Good job there by Stokes to make the athletic save. And we do see some John after the whistle here, so keep an eye on the aggression, see if it will ramp up and keep going. That was a first real opportunity here for the Mississauga Senators off the stick of Jacob Kalinski. But Stokes, he got the blocker across in time.
Well, we saw that game against the Titans, last game for the Kings. 2 goals they gave up, but they had possession of the puck, which seemed like maybe 95% of the game. The 2 goals they gave up did both come off rush chances, and that was because of errant passes and just kind of sloppy plays within the offensive zone that led to both goals for the Titans in that game. If you're the Senators, I think on paper it'd be fair to say that you are better than the Titans. Definitely are, and I think if you're the Senators, you're trying to capitalize on those rush chances like we just saw there.
As a centering pass there is deflected by the Vaughan Kings. The Vaughan Kings hemmed in their own zone a little bit as they finally do get it out through the neutral zone. The Kings with it now, bringing it in. That shot on Tomasi is saved. Rebound in front. Traffic does not get the puck through in time there for the Vaughan Kings outstretched stick. As the Sens, they dump it in. That was Jeremy Phillips as he flips that one into the zone. Phillips, the pun I had to make. I apologize for that. As it's sent over to the blue line by the Vaughan Kings and kept in. A pass over to the point now. Shot there through traffic. Saved. Rebound pops out to the Sens. As now the Sens, they bring it through the neutral zone. At the top of the circle, McIntosh. He gets that one down low to the corner for Knight. This McIntosh-Knight line has been very solid so far this season, but the Vaughan Kings, they do get it out through the neutral zone. Carrying it in now is number 96, Brody Brown, as he drove that one towards the net. But nothing doing on the ensuing rebound as we cut back just for fun as it comes down into the send zone. The Vaughan Kings forechecking, but no men really deep. This puck gets sent out through the neutral zone, and now with it is Knight. He gets that one off the pad, nearly a rebound opportunity for Timmins, but he was unable to put that one through.
A lot of back and forth action here. The pace of play has steadily increased for both of these teams. Both of the last games, they had possession most of the time. Very quick game compared to the last two for these teams. Maybe some fatigues might set in later in this one.
As from the point, that shot is stopped by the pad. Good opportunity there from Janssen. We saw him score in the Titans game as well. At the point, shot, fired, rebound through traffic. Another opportunity is stopped. Great save there from Tomasi as there is an arm up. We do see a Vaughan Kings player in the crease. It looks like by the body language, we are going to see a goalie interference penalty here and a power play for the Sens.
You don't see that too often, a goalie interference call that leads to a penalty. A very interesting call, but at the same time, that was a pretty clear goaltender interference. Body lying down in the crease, basically cuddling the goaltender there a little bit. But what a save by Tomasi. We were talking about it in this last game against the Young Nationals. Tomasi, he's a big body. Doesn't necessarily have to make the most athletic saves, just have good positioning, and that was on full display right there.
Surely, and it was, like you said, that was a full display, grade A save, as now Gal Gray gets it at the point, gets that one across. Shot there is stopped by Stokes. He makes a save. It is Evan Fitzgerald in the box for the Vaughan Kings. But wow, even if that wasn't a penalty, that would have been a 10-bell save there from Massimo Tomasi. Tomasi, he's stood up large, stood up tall, however you want to say it so far in this game.
Yeah, he certainly has, and I don't know if that's a tall joke, but if it is, I condemn you for that. But yeah, that's a no icing, as there will be a penalty, as most hockey fans know. That's my expert analysis there. If you ice the puck on the penalty kill, it's not an icing. Did you know that?
Thank you for that, Simon. Always a pleasure to do these games with Simon Sticky Hands Hendricks.
Okay,
let's now Kalinsky, he brought that one in. Gal Gray is up at the point, kind of quarterbacking it here as this one hits a stick and is sent out of play, trying to find Zielinski there on the elbow.
You know, if people watch our pre- and post-game shows, I just want to know that my hands are not sticky, and Sammy has a bit of a rat nest on top of his head that he likes to call hair, so, you know.
Yeah, no, I don't opt for the 1920s hairstyle. I like to go for modern looks.
Oh, the perm?
As I'm a modern
the
guy.
Perm? Yeah,
These
okay.
curls are natural. You can get me tested. As it's sent over to the blue line, and the Sens, they do keep it in. But the Vaughan Kings, they respond by sending a slap shot down over to Tomasi. Just over a minute left to go here in the power play. The Sens, they go up through the neutral zone, trying to take it in to get a cycle started.
You know, the Senators, they scored on the power play against the Young Nationals, and right now they're just having a lot of trouble as perhaps a foot race to this loose puck, and it looks like Tomasi will play it. That would have been a dangerous opportunity for the Kings on the penalty kill, but this Senators power play so far not looking nearly as effective against this Kings team.
That's right. We haven't seen too much from that guy you see at the bottom of your screen, Arjun Nananbai. He was electric in the game against the Young Nationals. When we were doing our post-game show, we didn't even really have to say that he was first star. We did, but it was surely implied. That's how dominant he was for this unit. Now bringing it in is the Sens. That's dumped in by Harris. He got that one through.
And I'm sure Nananbai cherishes his sixth hockey first star of the game like it's his first child.
I mean, who wouldn't, right? As this one is cut through the middle by the Vaughan Kings. Sent around behind the net. A battle ensues. Centering pass in front. Tomasi saves. Rebound. But Tomasi, once again, staying strong, staying in position, and making sure this game stays 0-0.
Exactly to your point, Sammy. I'm really impressed by the positioning of Tomasi there. Often you can see young goaltenders, even pro goaltenders, get a bit frazzled by plays behind the net and trying to watch the puck instead of watching where bodies are. He just hugged that post and was able to stay calm and incredibly well poised for a good chance right in front of him.
and he might have to make some more big saves in this game. The Vaughan Kings, they are no strangers to those 10-bell opportunities as the Sens, they dump this one down the length of the ice, and it will be called an ice on this play. Looks like a bit of miscommunication there from the referees, but it will be an ice. The Vaughan Kings opting to keep with the same lineup they have out. The Vaughan Kings, they often will switch to get fresher legs on the ice on these icings, but it will be Fitzgerald's line out once again.
Well, they did have a great few shifts out there. I believe it was this line that was able to draw the penalty from the Senators on that breakaway chance. So, they got some trust from the coach, and they did win that offensive faceoff. Let's see what they can do with it.
As it's sent to the corner now, the Vaughan Kings cycling it in the Sens zone. This goes to the point and to Janssen. Janssen, his shot is wide, but sent behind the net. And now the Sens, they look to break it out. They do not get it out. It's kept in by the Vaughan Kings right back to a Senator stick. And now bringing it out is number 28, Dante Kolpa. Great name again. We should make a all-names team for this GTHL U16 AAA season. I think we'd have quite the names on our hands.
Oh, we definitely would. Maybe Dante Kolpa gets a look. There's a lot of great names on both of these teams. I mean, you got Robert Knight.
Liam Fortune's a great one as well. Number 86, the big-bodied defenseman on this Mississauga Senators team. As the Vaughan Kings, they bring it in. That's Fitzgerald. He dumped that one in for a change as Gal Gray went back to play. Oliver Lemma went back to play for the Sens. A battle behind the net. This one squeaks out. Centering pass in front, nearly getting to the stick of Landon Keefe, but that one was deflected. And now a chance here for the Sens. That's Kalinske all alone, and that one is wide. Wow.
Oh.
An opportunity missed there from the Senators. Couldn't tell if Stokes did get a piece of that one, but if you are Jacob Kalinske, you'd want that one back.
Definitely want that one back, and you see his body language. He's upset with themselves. Way to be for Jake Harris, giving him a little tap on the pads there, saying, hey, that's okay. Good chance, but we'll get another one sometime soon, I hope.
That was Nixon McKeag at the line there that just lost that one while he was walking the line, and it could have been a dangerous 1-0 lead here for the Sens, as after that skirmish, they are sending 2 men to the box.
Whoa.
It looks like it will be some 4-on-4. The Sens think it's 4-on-4, and it seems like the Kings think it's 5-on-5. There's the extra Senators player.
There he is.
So it's just offsetting 2 minutes for roughing each, as just over 2 minutes left to go here in the first period. As number 22, Arjun Nananbai, he has it in the corner, battling with the Kings players. He gets it on the sideboard. Centering pass doesn't get through, but is kept in by the Sens. Shot from the point is stopped by Stokes, and the Vaughan Kings come the other way.
Well, we were talking about how the refs are maybe trying to set a precedent in this game with those roughing calls. We saw maybe some warnings addressed to the benches earlier in this game, and now a penalty is called on both teams.
Penalty called on both teams, so maybe, like you said, the refs won't put their whistles away anymore, and they will be a little less lenient, as this one is received by Tate, sent onto the net of Stokes, and Stokes catches that one. Some more shoving after the whistles. I mean, seems like these two teams, they don't like each other.
No, they don't. I mean, maybe some Mississauga and Vaughan rivalry here for sure. Both of these teams, they're two very decent teams, and, very well could be seeing each other in the playoffs later this year. So, this is a big game for both of these teams. First kind of major test for them. Not to say the Titans and the Nationals weren't tests to start the year for each of these teams, but you want to learn how do you play against good teams, and this is their first real opportunity to do so.
As now the Vaughan Kings with an opportunity to carry it through the neutral zone. That's Watt with it. Watt crossing the blue line. Beats his man. Watt all alone. Scores! Liam Watt with the end-to-end rush. Scoring on the backhand. He makes it 1-0 Vaughan.
What a solo effort from Watt there. Taking it from his own blue line, crossing the offensive zone blue line, splitting the D backhand. What a goal from that young man. That's got to feel good for him. The D-man jumping up in the rush. We talked about this. It seems like every game, basically, especially with this Kings team and like the junior Canadians as well. Their D-men are not afraid to jump up on the rush, take the pucks with them, take them pucks by themselves, and I mean, just what a play from a very skilled player.
What a play indeed. Yeah, I know that one wasn't my best, but I thought of it. It's one of those where you think of and you just have to make it.
You do just have to make. I thought you were going with like an electricity pun, like a watt, you know.
Oh, that one would have been good. I'll write that one down for next time as it's sent over to the point. Nearly a turnover there off the stick of Fortin. He has his hands up in the air. He thought there should be a penalty on the play.
That was a borderline
as
hold.
McIntosh got that one over to Nanenbai. Nanenbai, he dumps that one down in, trying to find McIntosh as well as Robert Knight. As now the Vaughan Kings, they get it through the neutral zone, but the pass is awry. So the Sens, they take it back in their own zone behind the net. Just over 30 seconds left to go here as the Kings. They get that one down low. Centering pass over to the slot. That one couldn't get through cleanly. Fitzgerald, he sends this one over to the point. Shot through traffic's deflected. Rebound is also blocked by the Sens. Scrow with it through traffic. Rebound in front, but the Sens, they collect that one. Now the Sens, with just over 10 seconds left to go, it's Nanenbai. Nanenbai, he elects to backhand that one in. Maybe a last chance here for the Kings, but they will likely run out of time as the Sens, they take it behind their net. And that will do it for the first period. The Vaughan Kings leading 1-0 after controlling a majority of the offense.
A nice little shove there to end the period. I believe that was Jacob Kalinski who got that little shove from the defenseman on the Vaughan Kings. So a very entertaining first period so far. Very fast pace to start this game. Like we were saying, for both of these teams, it's kind of their first big test against a good team. You know, the Kings on paper, maybe the best team in the league so far, and the Senators, they had a great win against the Nationals. They are looking like they got something to prove in this one. Very fast, back and forth type of game. I didn't realize just how close to the end of the period that goal was for the Vaughan Kings. A bit of a not demoralizing because the Senators have been in this game, but you would have really loved to escape that period tied. But, I like I said earlier in this game, don't count the Senators out until the fat lady sings. You saw after that goal, they had a nice little response. They have had some good chances on the rush, have had some, decent offensive zone time. So, I don't think they're going to fold just being down 1-0 here.
Certainly not. I mean, we saw that opportunity off the stick of Jacob Kalinski. He was like a barrel shot out of a cannon and just nearly missed his spot. It looks like he was trying to go on the blocker side of Stokes, but just missed his spot. And credit to Stokes for making himself look big, cutting off the angle. But it has been a very effective period for the Vaughan Kings.
Going back to what we were saying before, is Dimitri Stokes our starting goalie for our name team?
He's for sure up there. He's for sure up. I mean, Massimo Tomasi is also a great name
also way up there
as well.
Sure.
We'll have to hit the YouTube with a video one day with the all name draft because there are some absolute stunning names in this league.
We'll have to hit the YouTube with a video.
Oh yeah, I'm really glad you're here, Simon, with that just beautiful analysis as it's sent over to the neutral zone and to number 64, Oliver Lemma. Lemma, he couldn't get that one in cleanly. With it now are the Vaughan Kings. An opportunity in front. Scores! The Vaughan Kings right off the opening faceoff. They waste no time, making it 2-0.
Oh, that was a bit of a defensive collapse, a brutal neutral zone turnover, which we've seemed to talk about at length early in this GTHL season. Those neutral zone turnovers have been proven very costly for teams. And the Kings taking advantage of the 3-on-2. A nice little pass into the slot and a great goal for the Kings to open up this period.
Yeah, that was number 88, Kane Cloutier, and we've talked so much about how he can use his speed to drive towards the net, and that is exactly what he did there. It seemed like an innocent enough play, but the Vaughan Kings quickly double their lead, and now the Mississauga Senators, they need to respond as they bring it into the Vaughan Kings zone. A shot from the slot is once again sent wide. Stokes laying over to cover it, but that puck was knocked away. The referee's blowing the whistle. Some more pushing and shoving behind the net. Doesn't look like there'll be any penalties doled out on this play, but I believe it will be a face-off inside. I think the referee's deeming that maybe Stokes covered it in time.
Yeah, perhaps. I'm also not sure. There was a bit of a pile-up behind the net. Maybe the net got kind of kicked off there as you see the referee adjusting the pegs there. But, yeah, great response from the Senators, a little 3-on-2 of their own. But that's two opportunities, two pretty decent opportunities, wide-open shots in the slot that they have missed wide, again, on either side of the net. Both blocker side attempts there, something to keep an eye out for.
as Timmins will be taking the face-off for the Mississauga Senators. He wins this one back, but that one is immediately intercepted by the Vaughan Kings as they get it through the neutral zone. Hitting that one away are the Sens. Shot from the slot is blocked by Tomasi and onto the near side boards. The Kings with it in the neutral zone. Fortin, he gets that one up over to Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald with it at the top of the circle. Fitzgerald still skating behind the net, and that one is intercepted by the Senators. Now the Senators walking through the neutral zone. Bringing it in are the Senators. A pass into the slot is tipped away there by Stokes. Battle behind the net. The Senators trying to get some sustained offensive zone pressure for maybe the first time in this game as a battle on the boards gets the puck out into the neutral zone. The Sens, they elect to dump this one way down the ice. No icing, no offside. Called on the play. Beautiful move there by Fortin as Fortin takes it wide. Shot on net, and it's stopped by Tomasi.
A great move there. Oh, my goodness. You can see just the amount of skill and talent that this Kings team has. Kind of looks like they're overwhelming the Senators here early in this period. We talked about perhaps some fatigue setting in for, how fast this game has gone. It seems like the Kings are, maybe just looking a bit faster, a bit more dialed in to start this second period, already up 2-0. The Senators, they got to find a quick way to respond, and I think it's going to be off another rush chance. If they keep getting these rush chances that they've been allowed by the Kings defense, one of them is going to go in eventually.
As it is the Landon Rolston line attacking for the Vaughan Kings. That one is shot onto the net by Nelson. Nelson trying to get a rebound in front. No one was there to collect his fortune. He rims it around on the sideboards. Battle on the near sideboards, and Cabral gets that one down low for Brown. Brown battling alongside Rolston. Rolston receiving it in the corner. Landon Rolston with it at the top of the circle. He's knocked down, and there will be a call on the play. A referee with his hand up almost immediately as the Vaughan Kings will be headed to the power play. We'll see if they go for an extra man, and they do. They'll bring on an extra forward as the Rolston line will look to set up 6-5, but the referee seeming to call that one offside immediately. It will be a hook, though, for the Sens, as Fitzgerald will be sent right back out for the power play.
Not the best penalty to take if you're the Senators, allowing a late goal in the first and a very early goal in the second, down 2-0. And it looks like that will be number 15, Matthew Zielinski, going to the box for the Senators. Not a great penalty to take. Yes, you were pretty hemmed in your defensive zone there, maybe some tiredness, some fatigue setting in. You're just trying to make a desperation play to get that puck, but not the play you want to take if you're the Senators.
As it'll be Cloutier quarterbacking this power play. You saw that he was wide, ready for a face-off and ready for a one-timer. The Vaughan Kings forced to go back in their own zone. Scrow got that one to Cloutier, and Cloutier, he'll be the man that brings it up into the zone. Cloutier with it now once again. Top of the circle, he gets that one over to the point. Scrow, shot through traffic. Rebound is sent away by the Senators, as now Scrow will be forced to go way back into his own zone with the attacking Nananbai. Adrian Scrow with it. Adrian Scrow, he drops that one down into the neutral zone. Rolston back on for the Vaughan Kings. He caught his breath after that penalty drawing shift. As bringing it in now is Rolston. Rolston cutting towards the net. With it now Scrow. Adrian Scrow gets that one to the side. Adrian Scrow, one-timer shot, scores! Adrian Scrow with a tip in front. We'll have to wait till the handshake line, but the Vaughan Kings are up 3-0.
I was just about to make a point that this Kings power play so far has looked a bit more disorganized than their last, and it looks like that will be number 27, Evan Fitzgerald, who was able to tip that one in first on the handshake line. I was just about to make a point how this Vaughan Kings power play looked a bit more frazzled. They weren't able to really set up in the offensive zone, but one shot in and one goal for the Kings, up 3-0. That is a bit of a crushing blow for the Senators. Don't count them out just yet, but it ain't looking good for them.
Not looking good indeed. They'll have to get a response quickly because the Vaughan Kings, we know they score in bunches and bunches. They have scored 2 goals in this period already. Just under 4 minutes have passed, 3.5 to be exact. Don't you love when the time works out like that? As now the Sens had an opportunity. Ooh. Big collision there at the top of the circle. No penalty on the play. That was Nelson colliding alongside a Senators player.
I'm not going to lie. I am pretty surprised that was not called an interference. The puck was somewhat near, but the pass was already off and on to the stick of his partner. It looked like Robert Knight who had the puck there. and that may have been a hit on Henry McIntosh or perhaps either Peter Zhang. But surprised with the no call there. That was a pretty decent hit in open ice to a guy who didn't really have the puck.
Yeah, maybe the argument is that he was finishing a play or something, but certainly could have been a opportunity for the Sens to at least get some momentum back on their side to go a man up, as that one is won to the side by the Kings. Sole forechecker carrying it in the neutral zone onto the net of Tomasi, and another cross-check there. We'll see if this one leads to anything, but really, just every whistle, it seems like there's John and some more pushing and shoving.
More pushing and shoving, indeed. I was just about to make the point of way to kind of stay disciplined if you're the Senators after that borderline late hit late on one of your players. You're down 3-0 at this point. The last thing you need midway through the second period is to go back onto the penalty kill. So pretty good discipline from the Senators after a couple power play goals against.
As we see the Pagani, Fitzgerald, and McClure line coming on for the Vaughan Kings, they win this one over the point. That shot is sent around the boards. The Sens, they'll regroup in their own zone, looking to get something started. The Sens turning that one over at the blue line once again, as now the Vaughan Kings, they come back the other way. Nice one-hand move there by McClure. Centering pass in front. That one is deflected off escape, but the Vaughan Kings, they retain possession. A shot from the point and deflection. Great opportunity there from McKegg trying to find his man in front for another deflected shot.
That seems to be the game plan for the Kings. Get the puck up to the point, shot on, a couple deflections already in this one resulting in a goal on the power play. Seems to be the Vaughan Kings game plan, and it's working out for them so far. As
Pagani shot that one right into the logo, and it'll be a face-off inside the Senators' zone. It really has been all Vaughan Kings so far in this game, but credit to the Sens and credit to Massimo Tomasi. They are holding on, as it'll be Jackson Menery taking the face-off for the Vaughan Kings. This one is won by the Senators. They do get it out, but lose it immediately in the neutral zone as the Vaughan Kings, they dump this one. That was Skro colliding alongside number 64, Oliver Lemma.
Another neutral zone turnover leading to a possession within the defensive zone, as that's a shot from the point.
A shot from the point from Sebastian Fortin. We've seen him shoot a couple times throughout this season as well. A lot of offense coming from the D-men of the Vaughan Kings. That was also a chance there for Phillips, but he was unable to get a stick on that bouncing puck. As now the Sens, they regroup in their own end. Looking for a line change there was Liam Fortune, but he'll have to wait till they get it deeper in the zone. As Tate, he dumps that one in. No real forechecker here for the Sens. Is now an opportunity for the Vaughan Kings to get a change as this one is dropped over. Shot from the circle is blocked. And now a breakaway opportunity for the Sens. All alone. Shot stopped by Stokes. What an opportunity once again from Jacob Kalinske. But it is 2-0 Stokes in that 1v1 battle. And it is still 3-0 Vaughan.
Oh, that's a couple opportunities for number 88, Jacob Kalinske. Not the best feeling. You missed wide on your first breakaway, and just an incredibly athletic save from Dimitri Stokes to keep this game 3-0. That's got to sting if you're the Senators.
Yeah, you can't be too happy, but the fact is they are getting those opportunities. That's two breakaways for Jacob Kalinske. Hopefully for him, it's a third tries the charm, or whatever the saying is. But wow, what an athletic save, like you said, from Stokes to get across both opportunities. Kalinske electing to go on the blocker side of Stokes. First one was a shot. Second one was the backhand. But way to get the pad across is now the Sens with a little bit more effort and heat under their belt here. They dump this one into the zone. A battle on the near side boards, but that is immediately intercepted by the Vaughan Kings. Bringing it in now is the speedy Rolston. Rolston gets a poke towards the net of Tomasi, but that is collected by the Sens. Good forecheck applied from Rolston to put some pressure on the Senators' D-men. And now in some considerable pain here.
Oh, that's never good to see.
Seems to be Landon Rolston. It could be the skate. He does look a little bit awkward swimming towards the Vaughan Kings bench. We'll take a look at what happened there. As now it is the D-man of the Sens, as Tate, he had an opportunity there. That was stopped by Stokes And I believe on the breakaway there was a penalty assessed. It was done off camera, so we weren't able to see. But a minute left in the power play here for the Senators.
Yeah, I'm not too sure if that was a skate blade that was knocked off, but it did look like a pretty awkward situation there in front of the Kings bench. Hopefully he's not injured.
We'll take a look as soon as we get a chance to look at the Vaughan Kings bench. As now the Senators cycling it in the Vaughan Kings zone. Down low, opportunity, centering pass, scores! The Senators, they make it 3-1. They get one back on the power play, and that's got to feel really good if you are the Senators, especially if you are number 64, Oliver Lemma.
A great play. It looked like a set play off of the offensive zone faceoff. A little cross-ice pass, centering pass, goal. That's a great job from the Senators. And now, 2-goal game, anything can happen.
Anything can happen. A 2-goal lead is a scary lead to hold if you are the Vaughan Kings. I can imagine they'll want to tally another as we are back to 5-on-5 in the Sens. They have new life under them as this is dumped into their zone. Going to play was the Senators defenseman as there is a battle from Kalinske on the boards. But the Sens, they do get it out. Once again, an opportunity for the Sens. A chance from the circle here. Stopped by Stokes. Rebound centering pass in front. Just misses the stick of Matthew Zielinski as Gow Gray. He catches that one and keeps it up. And now the Kings, they'll look to get it out of their own zone. Some different pressure applied here from the Senators. And now the Senators, they have a bit of the momentum going on their side.
I was just going to say, it looks like number 35, that is Landon Rolston, who was the one on the ground looking like he's walking off whatever ailed him. Maybe a skate blade that was clipped, or maybe he took maybe a non-contact to the ankle or something like that. But he seems to be walking off on the bench. That's always good to see, as a bit more jawing in front of the benches there.
As we see him shift towards that next line up for the Vaughan Kings, so he'll certainly be A-OK to skate. I believe it was just a skate blade issue.
Yeah, and that's always good to see. But the point I wanted to make before is after that third goal from the Kings, this looks like a different team from the Senators. Wonder what was said by the coaches to kind of get them going. Maybe a little Paul Maurice moment there, if you know what I'm talking about. But this looks like a different Mississauga Senators team over the past 3 or 4 minutes.
As we're seeing the Vaughan Kings get a little bit more physical here as well, as that is sent down low into the corner. Knocked off nearly is Evan Fitzgerald as his pass is deflected off a skate of a Senators player. Dumping that one into the zone was Peter Zhang. He collided with Nelson earlier towards the top of the circle. Since then, the Senators have controlled the pace of the play. The Vaughan Kings, known for shifting that, they'll put this one into the Senators' zone. As Nanenbai's line is back out. Nanenbai, he'll go for a quick change there. We haven't seen too much of him towards this game too often as a drop-down pass. Opportunity. Shot there is not through. A great deflection there from the goal scorer, Oliver Lemma. He got the tap in front to make it 3-1 and playing some exceptional D as well. Centering pass towards, I believe that was Brody Brown in front. He wasn't able to get a stick down low. As we've seen a lot of back and forth play here in the second period, the Sens seeming to adjust to the Vaughan Kings.
Yeah, exactly. And it looks like, they've kind of got their feet under them now. Maybe they needed that third goal to realize, hey, we're in one here. We got to turn up the intensity just a little bit. And it looks like they're all over the Kings in this one. And like we were saying, the 2-goal lead is the worst lead to have in hockey. And now with just over 6 minutes left in the second period, just a bit more than halfway through this game, they're looking to turn it up a notch, if you know what I mean.
What do you mean?
Turn up a notch. You know what I'm talking about. A little bit. You ever seen that Hulk Hogan clip where he's like, I want to crank your knob a little bit past the breaking point? You know what I'm talking about?
I do not, but I'm sure the Senators do as they get this one off the sideboards. That's Kalinske with it. Kalinske shot stopped by Stokes. And Kalinske, he must have 1,000 shots in this game. And he has been shut down by number 31, Dimitri Stokes, so far.
Well, you know what? That is very true. But at the same time, you really do love to see that he's not letting himself get in his own head. He's attacking with a lot of force, a lot of skill as well. It takes a good player to get all these scoring chances and be in the right positioning at the right time. So hats off to him for sticking with his game plan, and hopefully he's rewarded here soon with the goal.
And Simon, we were talking pregame. If you got shut down by a goalie, you actually saw it as a challenge, and you kind of liked the thrill of the chase, if you will.
I don't know if liked is the word I would use, But yes, I do agree that you do kind of see it as a challenge to try to figure out this goaltender. It looks like a lot of the shots, not only from Kalinske, but the Senators in general have come off of the blocker side. At least the shot attempts have come to the blocker side of Stokes. Maybe, trying to implement a different game plan than they had before to kind of combat some of these issues you've been having trying to solve Stokes out. But a challenge nonetheless that I'm sure they're really looking forward to overcoming.
As Timmins, he gathers it in the neutral zone. He'll dump and chase that one on his lonesome as it's sent over to Gray. Gray shot gloved by Stokes. And Gray, we've seen him pinch a couple times to try to get involved in the offense.
Well, it looks like the strategy for a lot of these teams, not only the Senators, not only the Vaughan Kings, but the Canadians, the Marlboros, the Flyers, a lot of very skilled defensemen. I feel like we've had this conversation basically every single broadcast. We talk about just how important it is that your defense are able to jump in off the rush and pinch effectively in a league like the GTHL when the forwards are just so fast and can take over games in a blink of an eye, really. So it's very important that both of these teams' defensemen are able to, pinch and join in offensively very effectively.
As gathering it to the point is Nelson. Nelson, he gets that one across. Shot from the point just over the blocker of Tomasi. In the corner now, the Vaughan Kings going for a big hit were the Sens. That shot is fanned on from Cloutier as this one is sent out of play. The refs will deem where the face-off is. We saw a near huge collision there in the corner. Fitzgerald just avoiding that one.
Well, yeah, like we were saying, Sammy, the intensity of this game has turned up, most notably for the Senators and their forechecking, especially in their own zone. A big hit avoided there by Fitzgerald, and you can really see the pace of this game for the Senators has turned up a notch.
As we'll see Jacob Kalinski's line once again out there. He has generated a lot of that intensity. A couple breakaways in this game, a bunch of opportunities, as now they bring it into the zone. That was Kalinski trying to find Zielinski. Of course they have to be on the same line because they've got such similar names as Kalinski. He has it at the blue line, battling alongside the Vaughan Kings as he dumps that one down into the zone. Forechecking there is Tate as they try to get that one in front, but there is no man there to receive it. The Vaughan Kings, they send this one down the length of the ice, and it will be an offensive zone faceoff for the Sens.
Not a ton of icing calls in this game, I've noticed. Some very crisp passes in the offensive zone for both teams. I feel like that's one of the first icing calls we've had all game. Let's see if the Senators are able to capitalize on maybe a tired Kings lineup here.
As it is a new lineup here for the Senators. Gray coming back on as the left-handed defenseman here for the Sens as it's one to the corner. With it now is McIntosh. McIntosh gets that one down low. On the sideboards, a battle ensuing with Skro. But the Sens, they do keep possession. With it at the top of the circle, getting that down low was Knight. And now a centering pass off across the side. Another one, and that is blocked by Stokes. McIntosh going on one knee, trying to finish that one with just under 4 minutes left to go in the second period.
Yeah, this game has kind of flown by. I think that's because not a ton of whistles here so far in this game. Already 4 minutes left in the second period. We've seen both of these teams play a very fast-paced game, a lot of shots on net, but a lot of good saves from both of these goaltenders. Yes, the Kings have scored 3 of them, but we're talking about a lot of volume, not a ton of incredible grade A scoring chances, but just a ton of volume on both of these goaltenders here so far.
As Nanenby trying to come off a weird angle to disrupt Stokes, distract him, but he carries that one into the chest very, very easily as Nanenby will be taking the faceoff once again for the Sens.
Yeah, and you know what? That's a good game plan. We're talking about volume and a good little play from Nanenby just trying to maybe surprise Stokes with a shot there in tight. But at the same time, that could work against your team. You don't want to let a guy like Stokes get into his game and make him feel confident that he's going to save anything from any sort of angle.
As Kolpaw gets that one at the point, this one is deflected wide and around the net. The Vaughan Kings, they can't get this one out once again. Nanenby is streaking in the slot. Gray with it now. Trying to get this one for the centering pass, but is unable to do so. With it now, the Sens. Sending that across was Knight. as now once again the Sens have it at the point. Over to Knight. Knight to Gow Gray. Gow Gray shot through traffic, blocked away by Stokes. Knight receiving it, sending it down low over to McIntosh. Long shift here from the Senators as it's sent across to Nanenby. Nanenby shot saved on the rebound. Stokes, pardon me, he blocked that one, and it was Knight trying to pick it up, sent down the length of the ice once again from the Senators.
Oh, man, what an icing call against the Kings. That line's got to stay out there. And now, like you were saying, a long shift for the Senators. Looks like a fresh forward group coming on. But perhaps Nanenby's line staying out there with, looks like Kalinske and Fortune.
Well, it's just the Vaughan Kings. Regardless, they have been hemmed in their own zone for quite some time. It's Zielinski. He wins that one back into the corner, but it's the Kings finally getting it out of the zone.
It looks like Nanenby is still out there. Are we seeing 4 forwards being rolled out by the Senators on even strength? I think we might be, because that looks like, Nanenby is out there playing a defensive role up there.
Because they have been all over the Vaughan Kings, and a penalty has been called here against the Kings. The Sens take it into the zone. The Sens trying to get a cycle started, but they are intercepted. Wow, like a shotgun there came out Massimo Tomasi, but it will be a power play opportunity here for the Sens, a chance to cut the lead to just 1.
Yeah, Massimo Tomasi, he's got some wheels on him apparently. He was skating like his life depended on it there. A very long shift for the Kings in this one, in their defensive zone. This is the first time they've really been put in this position in the season. Weren't really tested like this against the Titans, and so far in this game haven't been tested and hemmed into the defensive zone until now. Let's see how they respond.
As it's won back by the Senators, they get a chance to set up. That's Tate with it. Tate over to the side, back to Tate at the point. Tate walking the line. He gets it across for Kalinske. Kalinske shot, scores! Jacob Kalinske finally picks up his goal, and the Senators cut the lead to just 1.
That has got to feel pretty damn good if you're Jacob Kalinske. And hey, blocker side. It didn't work the first time. It didn't work the second time, but you're damn sure it worked the third time. Third time's a charm, like we were saying. What a goal. And hey, a costly penalty to take. If you're the Kings there, you're an incredibly tired group out there. A few icings called against you. You take a penalty, and in the opening seconds of the power play, you let in a goal. We got a 1-goal game, folks.
And if you're Jacob Kalinske, I think we could hear him through the ether. Just exhale. Finally, he got that monkey off the back. Stokes, to his credit, had been shutting him down all game long. Let's see how the Vaughan Kings respond as a centering pass is sent away by the Sens. But the Vaughan Kings, they retain possession. A shot there from Scrow is caught by Tomasi. He's had more of a comfortable late second period than he did in the first.
That's exactly right, Sammy. And, as maybe routine as that save was, that is a huge stop. The last thing that the Senators want right now is to let a goal in before the end of the second period. Just over 2 minutes left here to go in the second period. Like I was saying, the last thing you want to do is let an easy one through if you're the Senators.
Yeah, no, that would be heart-wrenching. As the Senators with another opportunity, and with 1:40 left to go, do they have a chance to tie it here? A big rebound off the pad of Stokes there, but the Vaughan Kings, they do get it out, and with it now is Fitzgerald, but they will call that one offside, and Fitzgerald doesn't look like he's a fan of that one, as there's a bit of pushing and shoving, but the refs put a stop to it right quick.
Right quick. I don't think there's going to be any penalties called there. And, we have seen early in this season, these refs do not like it when players are kind of talk back to them about those offside calls, those icing calls. We've seen a couple penalties already this year for unsportsmanlike conduct when, those players start to retaliate verbally towards the referee. So, a good no call on the penalty there, but if you're the Kings, you feel a little bit nervous, don't like that call, you got to stay disciplined.
Need to be careful. Of course, Hockey Canada cracking down on the use of language in the GTHL and in their youth hockey leagues. As Gow Gray keeps that one in, Knight sends that one down. Big collision between him and Rolston, but Knight, he keeps it at the blue line. Gow Gray tries to keep it in as well, but they are unable to do so as they collect the puck back in the neutral zone. Gow Gray was trying to find Nanenby there, as that was nearly kept along the line from McIntosh, as Nanenby, he's the sole forechecker here for the Sens. Knight coming in to help. He gets a piece of it as the Vaughan Kings are forced to retreat in their own zone as it's sent into the corner. With it now at the line was Zielinski, I believe, as it's sent down towards the net of the Vaughan Kings. A collision there with Kalinski behind the net as now the Kings trying to get it out of their zone. Wow, the Senators have really turned on a dime here throughout the second period as Kolpa sent that one into the zone. Just 15 seconds left to go in the second period. The Vaughan Kings taking it behind their net. The Vaughan Kings looking to dribble this one out. I think they are done with this period as the Senators, they're trying to keep pushing for an opportunity to score, but that will do it for the second period. My, oh my. What a period that was. We saw, I can't do the math, man.
We saw 2 early goals from the Kings and then 2 late goals from the Senators.
So that's 4.
That's 4 goals.
That's why we're up here and
2,
not,
2 plus 2 is 4.
Yeah, working on chalkboards or whatever math people do. I don't know what they do.
I think they may have upgraded from chalkboards in the 70s, but
I guess they do have smart boards now.
Yeah, smart boards. But let's talk about this game and that period. What a period that was. A very fascinating period. A very fast period at that for both teams, honestly. We saw Tomasi not incredibly tested past like the 3 or 4 minute mark of that period. And if you're Stokes right now, a couple late goals, one off of the power play, you're maybe not feeling so great, but I think that 15-minute intermission between second and third periods did the Kings a ton of favors to get themselves rested and to get themselves kind of remind themselves that they still have a 1-goal lead. You're still up 3-2. Maybe, I mean, we saw a very early goal a minute into the second period, maybe trying to replicate that early in this third period.
So I was going to ask each team, the chance to settle, to breathe a little bit, catch their breath. How important is this next goal?
I think it's incredibly important. However, I think that, like I was just saying, I think that intermission benefited the Kings much more than it benefited the Senators. And I think if you're the Kings, you're feeling much better coming into this third period than you did ending the second.
The Senators, they are going to need to replicate what they did in the last 5 minutes or so of that second period as they were all over the Vaughan Kings, as that was Zielinski receiving it in the corner. The Vaughan Kings battling to get it out of their own zone and start the rush. It's the Cabral line on for the Vaughan Kings. It's sent down into the corner. Going for a hit there was Cabral as it's sent back over to the point. Skro calling for it, but shook off by Nelson. Nelson got that shot off as the Sens, they look to break out themselves as we're seeing a bit of discombobulation here from both teams early in this period.
I also just want to make a very quick point. At the end of that second period, there was a lot of shoving away from the puck while play was going on. These refs were really letting them play at the end of that second period. I'm very interested to see if that notion is going to stick in this tightly contested third period. That is sure to have some high intensity for both teams.
Certainly, if the score stays close, the physicality will only increase as the game goes on, as the puck is sent into the zone by the Vaughan Kings. They finally get their full defense line change as it's sent over to the point. Shot into the corner. Great idea there from McKegg just to keep possession for the Vaughan Kings. It's Fitzgerald trying to find Pagani in front, but great defense there from the Sens. Fitzgerald with it once again. Over to Pagani. Pagani's shot blocked away there by Tomasi as it's sent to the blue line. Carrying it in now are the Vaughan Kings. Once again, Fitzgerald. He wraps that one around. Once again, sent over to Fitzgerald, but he is tied up in front with Timmins. As now a battle on the near side boards, and it's the Sens coming up with it. That's Nanenbai's line on, as Nanenbai, he got that pass across, and now it's sent over to the corner. Knight forechecking. Behind the net, Fitzgerald battled by Nanenbai, but Fitzgerald, he gets that one dumped up. Can't quite reach that one. Oliver Lemma, he got it instead, but now it's Pagani with it. Pagani carrying it towards the net. Pagani, using his strength, nearly cut that one right onto the net of Tomasi as the Vaughan Kings, they go for a line change. With it now at the line, the Vaughan Kings, they shoot this one towards the net of Tomasi, but way too many Sens there, and a block in front as the Sens will look to forecheck and break it out of their own zone.
I'll let you catch your breath there, Sammy, for a little bit.
Thank goodness. Jeez.
As I think that will be perhaps an out-of-player offside call coming up here. Again, like I was just saying, it looks like the Kings have kind of rolled through that little slump they were in to end the second period, looking like a bat out of hell to open up this third frame. They've controlled the puck for the first 2.5 minutes here. Not a ton of grade A scoring chances, but if you're the Kings, you're thinking that one is coming up if you're able to play like this for the entire 15-minute frame.
As the Kings, they won that face-off. Watt got an opportunity, and it was blocked. But now it'll be a chance for them to regroup the Sens that is in the neutral zone to try to get something started. Kolpa, he dumps that one in. It is the Zielinski line. We saw Jacob Kalinski finally get his goal early on in that power play to make it 3-2 to cut to the lead to 1, and it will be covered by Tomasi there. The Vaughan Kings get a face-off inside the zone of the Senators.
That was a bit of an awkward offensive zone turnover for the Senators. Just like a play that didn't really need to happen. I know you're trying to find the D-man there with the pass, but we always talk about how those backhand passes and those ones where you kind of feel a bit shaky with the puck on your stick can lead to bad turnovers. That was one of them right there. But it looks like they are starting a breakout here, so maybe not the most costly turnover.
As Skro dumps that one in and out of play. Did that get a deflection? Nanabai seems to think it didn't. He's pointing way down into the Vaughan Kings zone, so it did not get a deflection. Skro showing the strength on that play from past the blue line to get that one out of play. That takes some skill, and he did that just then, so it'll be a face-off just outside the zone of the Vaughan Kings. Cabral, he wins that one back so they can get set up in their own zone. Adrian Skro, the captain, with it. He gets that one over to the sideboard as the Vaughan Kings. They'll dump this one into the zone near the corner. On the near side boards, a battle ensues, and the Vaughan Kings, they receive it, but no one at the point to receive the passes. This one will go all the way down the length of the ice. Dumping that one around was Watt, as Watt was trying to find Skro. That's some miscommunication, and Stokes had to get involved in that play. A turnover now here. Nanenby with it. Shot, tipped in front, and stopped by the Vaughan Kings. Great play there from Watt to stop that one. The goal scorer of that very first one, stopping a goal himself as Nanenby's shot is blocked away there by Stokes. The Vaughan Kings setting that one up. Fitzgerald, he got that one to Cloutier. Cloutier's shot is stopped, and Cloutier ensures a face-off inside the zone.
We've seen a couple times in this game already how many chances can come off those defensive zone turnovers. Nanenby, a great play to keep that puck within the offensive zone, leading to a pretty decent scoring chance, but the Kings the other way, that's just how talented they are. When you think they're down and out and in a precarious situation, someone's able to just go end to end and ensure an offensive zone face-off.
Ensure an offensive zone face-off is always a smart play, as it's worth mentioning that was not Cloutier bringing in that offensive zone face-off. It was Sebastian Cabral. Like I said, these jerseys do not help the visibility from the 420p camera that we're using here, as it's sent over to Cloutier at the blue line. This one, it is, in fact, King Cloutier. That's an all-time name, and it's sent to the point and down through the neutral zone of the Vaughan Kings. As Nixon McKaig, he dumps this one down for a long stretch pass. The Vaughan Kings trying to gather it in the send zone, but they break through. That's Zielinski with it. Matthew Zielinski fires that one onto the net of Stokes, but Stokes, he swallows that one, makes it look easy.
A good save from Stokes and a good play from Zielinski. Carried it over the blue line, kind of split the defenders there, able to get a good shot off. It did hit Stokes right in the logo, but like we were just saying, it's never a bad idea to ensure an offensive zone face-off. You've seen the Senators turn it up a little bit, had a bit of a faulty start in the third period, allowing a lot of plays, allowing the Kings to control a lot of the play. As a chance there, that was a tight, close call for the Kings, but the Senators team is looking like they're rearing and ready to go, like they were looking at the end of the second period.
As Nanenby had the wraparound opportunity, it was stopped by Stokes, and McIntosh nearly picked up the rebound. A puck near him. McIntosh is knocked away in front of the net, but he's had 2 golden opportunities here in this shift alone. As McIntosh, he gets this over to Nanenby. Nanenby trying to go for McIntosh once again in front, or maybe find Luke Timmins. As now on the sideboards, the Vaughan Kings try to get it back into the zone, and some more pressure from the Sens. Arjun Nanenby fires that one, and it is caught by Stokes.
We were talking about the discipline of these teams in the latter half of this game. It is imperative that neither of these teams take any more penalties in this game. The Senators have momentum. They can't afford to take a penalty and disrupt that. The Kings, they know that the Senators are all over them this past couple of minutes. They cannot take a penalty and allow them to have a great chance to capitalize on this momentum. Let's see if both of these teams can stay disciplined for the rest of this game, as we know that there's a lot of pushing and shoving, a lot of jawing going on in this game so far. So let's see if anything happens.
As Tate, he keeps this one in the zone, but only momentarily as the Vaughan Kings, they have a 2-on-2 forming, but that pass was off its mark. The Sens do not get it out of the zone as the Vaughan Kings fire that one onto the net, and there seems to be an offside call on the play, and I don't think the Kings were aware of it. We were barely aware of it, but it will be a face-off. Now the only matter is where it will be, and the refs will say it is coming all the way down. You know, when I was a player, no matter when the other team got the offside, I would always protest for it to be all the way down. Happens probably once every 3-4 games.
Well, that one was a bit egregious. The referee did have his hand up for a pretty long time, but I mean, that was very close. I don't know if you can really make an argument that that was an intentional offside that would, allow them to make that call to bring it all the way down to the end of the ice. That was a very close call.
I think they just didn't know as Zielinski. He carries this one over to Kalinski. Wow, the Zielinski-Kalinski combo have been deadly as he fires this one onto the net of Stokes. Rebound pops out to the corner as the Vaughan Kings, they will look to get this one out. It's once again kept in the zone here by the Senators. The Senators really ramping up their offense in this third period as a battle on the sideboards, but it's the Kings who get it out of the zone, but only momentarily. A shot from the hash marks is stopped. Stokes makes the save. Big rebound off the stick of Oliver Lemma, but the Kings are safe for now, as now Kalinski, he'll carry that one back in his own zone. Long pass down the length of the ice, going for the risky pass, and now face-off for the Vaughan Kings inside.
A lot of stuff to break down there. Some turnovers in the neutral zone from the Kings. We've seen the Kings defensemen try to jump up on the rush, try to carry the puck over their own blue line and past the red line. That has not been working so far in the latter half of this game. The Senators taking a lot of advantage of these neutral zone and defensive zone turnovers of the Kings. We saw it there again. A bit of a risky pass that leads to an icing call. Let's see if they can keep possession as they win the faceoff, only for a moment though.
As the Kings, they keep it in. Number 10, Nixon McKay, try to get that one through as now the Sens coming back the other way. Once more, shot over the blocker of Stokes. Bringing that one in is Kolpaw. Kolpaw trying to get that one through the corner, and he was successful as the Sens. They had a chance behind the net, but the Vaughan Kings take a breather and regroup in their own zone. Now sent over through the neutral zone. The Vaughan Kings carrying it in. A missed pass and missed opportunity there from the Kings to get something set up, as now the Kings, they're trying to get some sustained offensive pressure, as it has been all Sens the last couple minutes in this third period. Another dump into the Kings zone as Fortin takes it, sending it over to Cloutier. Cloutier dumping that one into the zone. He will be the forechecker as Gow Gray, he sends that one into the corner. Flips, he tries to get that one out of the zone. Cabral's line on now for the Kings in a battle on the side. Nanenby, he receives it, trying to get it behind the net. Centering pass in front, but that does not meet its mark as the Kings will come back the other way. Bringing it in now is Fitzgerald. Behind the net now with it are the Kings. A backhand in front is missed. That was Pagani rather than Fitzgerald as it's sent over to the neutral zone. Great move from Nanenby there to dump that one into the zone. The Kings frantically looking to get it out of their own zone. That is knocked down by Fitzgerald. He gets that one over to Pagani. Pagani cutting towards the net. Pagani's shot is stopped. And finally a whistle here for both teams to regroup, both teams to catch their breath, and for this commentator to catch his breath.
I was just going to say, Sammy, you've been doing a great job so far this game. A lot of action back and forth. A lot of great chances for either teams there. It looks like the Kings are trying to play the possession game here. They know they're up 1-0 with just under 7 minutes left to go, already halfway through this third period, more than halfway through this third period. It looks like they're electing to just play a bit more conservatively and maintain possession of the puck and not try to make these risky plays, as it looks like we're going to redo that face-off there.
It looks like it was tipped and out of play. Pardon me, no tip and out of play, as it'll be a face-off inside the zone. It looked like that was Liam Fortune trying to dump that out of the zone. As now the Vaughan Kings, another face-off inside. We know how dangerous they can be after winning a face-off. It's dumped to the sideboards as the Sens, they get it out of the zone.
I just want to say, sorry, Sam, I just want to say one really quick thing. It looks like every high leverage faceoff has gone the Senators' way, whether it be offensive or defensive zone wins. A lot of very important faceoff have been won by the Senators in this third period.
As it's usually something that the Kings excel at. We talk about how important these faceoffs can be as Harris, he takes it back into his own zone, sending it down low for the Sens to regroup. Tipped ahead for the Zielinski-Kalinski line, but they're electing to stay back in their own zone. But now it is it is Kalinski going down low there, trying to get something in the zone. That's brought in through by Cloutier opportunity. Wow, what a move that was, but an even better save from Tomasi as the Sens. They get it out of the zone. They avoid any trouble there as the Kings starting to ramp up their offense again.
Yeah, and you know what? I don't know if Tomasi got a piece of that or if it was just shot wide, but either way to be from Tomasi, just making himself look as big as he possibly could be, as that is an offensive zone faceoff from Tomasi's cover-up there. I just want to point out very quickly, just over 5.5 minutes left to go in this game. I don't know if another goal is going to be scored the way that these two goaltenders have been playing so far.
They have been playing phenomenal, but so has the offense. We've seen some grade A chances from both teams in this period, as it will be the Evan Fitzgerald line out here for the Vaughan Kings. We've seen how dangerous they can be in these situations, and they do win that one, but win it back a little bit too confidently, as McKegg will be forced to regroup in the neutral zone and fighters that one. And these low ceilings of Westwood, they get involved, so it'll be a face-off just outside the zone of the Vaughan Kings.
Yeah, exactly. These low ceilings at Westwood, not something you'd see at Scotiabank Pond. Coming into play a little bit.
At least
there.
the nets stay on.
Yeah, exactly. But you know what? Rather it hit the ceiling than go out of play directly, so not the worst play for the Kings to make there. As it looks like Nanunbai's line's coming on with Robert Knight. These guys have had a lot of offensive zone time trying to get something going here.
As it is McKegg receiving the puck for the Vaughan Kings, trying to find Fitzgerald now at the line. Fitzgerald, he can't keep it in, but it's sent over to Keefe. Keefe gets this one down low. Once again, McKegg will receive it. McKegg getting this one over to the side. That's Fitzgerald. Sends it to Keefe. Keefe trying to dump that one into the zone. Fitzgerald was offside on the play. They'll be forced to regroup. Attacking now Keefe. Keefe couldn't get a piece of that one. It is the Sens coming back the other way. Arjun Nanunbai. Nanunbai cutting towards the net. Centering pass is deflected, and Tate just keeps it in as he tried to send it to Knight. But now the Kings, they dump this one down the length of the ice. No icing on the play. Wow. As the Kings, they receive it. Fitzgerald in front. Over to Keefe. To the point to Scrow. One-timer shot is stopped by Tomasi. What a game this has been so far as the Sens. They dump this one down the ice. Knight, can he beat it off? No, he cannot beat the icing, and it will be a face-off inside for the Kings.
He did not beat that one off, Sammy, not at all. That was a pretty shocking no ice call. You saw Tomasi, he had the hand up. Maybe the referees thought that the defenseman could get there before it hit the red line. A shocking no ice, and it results in a defensive zone faceoff for the Senators.
As Cloutier cannot win that one for the Vaughan Kings, it goes down the length of the ice once more. This one will not be an icing as it's sent around for the Vaughan Kings. Unable to get that one out was Brody Brown, as now an opportunity for Cloutier. Cloutier finding Brown. A centering pass in front, and now it pops out to the point. Shot, scores! Liam Watt once again. He has made it 4-2.
What a game from Liam Watt. You saw him score off the rush, and now you see him score with a shot from the point, sticking to the game plan of just volume shots from the point. The Kings, hats off to them. They made it pretty hard for Tomasi to see that. Looks like he just beat him on the glove side there, and now it is 4-2 for the Kings. That's a bit of a crushing blow with just 4 minutes left in this one, as you've seen how difficult it has been for the Senators to get one past Stokes. But like I said, they've been playing fast, they've been playing intense, and maybe that goal with 4 minutes left, they're going to put everything out on the ice here.
That is all they can do in this game. Their offense has been phenomenal, but the Kings, they have just found a way to find the back of the net a little bit more. Both goalies have played very, very well in this one, as the Sens, they do dump this one down the length of the ice. and it will be a face-off inside the zone. The Senators, they were clamoring for it to be at center ice. They believe there was a deflection, but it will be a face-off in their own end.
Now, something I do want to point out, I did just make a point of how aggressive this Senators team might play in this next 3 minutes and 51 seconds. However, they can't afford to get sloppy here. That was just a stretch pass that was maybe a little bit too cocky there. And, you want to play aggressive, you want to play risky, but you can't be playing sloppy against this Kings team with a 2-goal lead.
Especially a Kings team that, like we mentioned earlier, they score in bunches, so it's dangerous to let them get hot. As now, it is a face-off won briefly by Elaine. Elaine with it in front of the net, trying to find a man for the centering pass, was unable to do so as here comes Zielinski. Zielinski with a lot of speed fires that one just wide as it's sent down to the point. Down low for Zielinski. Zielinski in front, an opportunity missed just wide from Timmins. Timmins shaking his head on that one, but the Sens, they do keep possession of the puck. Pardon me, that was Harris with the opportunity as he'll try again. He fires that one on the net. Stokes in front. Rebound for Kalinske. He can't get it in time as the Vaughan Kings, they avoid another opportunity as McClure with it. He gets that one in front. A shot there right into the logo of Massimo Tomasi. And my goodness, this has been a back-and-forth game.
Big save from Tomasi there. A pretty decent shot from the slot just on that near side hash marks there for the Kings. Maybe not the best play shot as that did hit him right in the logo, but man, what a huge save for Tomasi there to keep his team within 2, just 3 minutes left to go in this one.
And it was the Sens nearly getting one back off the stick of Jake Harris with the jersey tuck. Why not make it harder for us to see the numbers?
Well, hey, that's why you get paid the big bucks, Sammy.
Just kidding. He looks absolutely phenomenal with that jersey tuck. I think they say it's steezy now. That's what the kids say. As Fortune has it at the point. Tip in front, but Stokes, he swallows that one up, and it'll be a face-off inside.
This has been quite a fantastic game, Sammy. Like you were saying, chances back and forth, these teams trading grade A scoring opportunities. Stokes coming in huge for his team here late in this game. But, hats off to the defense of the Kings. They're making it pretty easy for Stokes to make these shots, to make these saves from kind of shots from the point and, clearing his vision, not allowing a ton of rebound opportunities. But the Senators, they are just relentless here.
Relentless indeed as Tate made sure that one stayed in. McIntosh with it now. He sends that one to the point. A shot in front, no deflection as the Vaughan Kings, they do get it out. And now an opportunity here for Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald, great defense there from Fortune to keep that one in. And now it'll be sent down the ice. It gets a deflection from Knight. No icing on the play as Kalinske will go on for the Senators. A pass down the length of the ice. Once again, no icing. Just over 2 minutes left to go here in the third period. The Senators need a goal, and they need one soon. As carrying it in now is Zielinski. Zielinski carrying it. Centering pass in front to Kalinske. That one doesn't get through. And now a shot from the point. Stopped by Stokes. Sent into the corner and out of play from the Vaughan Kings. Did they get a deflection? No, they did not. It'll be a face-off inside.
Oh, man, that is a pretty big call. No deflection is the official ruling from the officials. It will be an offensive zone faceoff, and that Kalinske-Zielinski line looks like it is going to be staying out there for this offensive zone draw as a timeout is taken by the Senators.
A timeout is something they desperately need right now. The Vaughan Kings, they need to find a way to shut down this Sens offense. The Sens likely going to pull their goalie soon. They need a goal here. And look at this unity from the Vaughan Kings. Look how close everyone is to look at the board here as the Senators. They have really turned on the offense in the last few minutes. The entire Vaughan Kings team here is huddled around the one clipboard trying to get a set play, probably just to get it out of the zone. The Senators and Nanenby, Zielinski, Kalinske, they have fired everything towards the net of Stokes, but Stokes has stood tall.
And you got to think that Tomasi will be pulled in this faceoff right now. I think if I'm the Senators right now, I'm just pulling him right now. We don't really have a lot of time left to notice if we do win the faceoff.
Yeah, that's the dangerous play. Do you pull the goalie and force yourself to win the faceoff, or do you wait? They are not waiting. They have pulled the goalie on this play. Everyone is out here for the Sens. We see Zielinski, we see Kalinske, we see Nanenby quarterbacking this extra man attack. it will be Kalinske taking the faceoff for the Mississauga Senators. The faceoff ensues, but everyone's too
way
excited.
back.
Everyone's too excited to get this going as the faceoff man for the Kings will be kicked out.
We were talking about how important faceoffs has been, and it looks like the Senators will retain possession off that one already.
As Nanenbai got a shot off. That's sent over to Knight behind the net. Knight ramming this one around the boards as Knight has it behind the net, trying to find a man for the centering pass, but there is a lot of traffic behind the net of Stokes. The Sens do come up with it. Nanenbai fires that one towards the net. Centering pass doesn't get through, and it's kept in by Nanenbai. What a play to keep that one down low as Knight is in front of the net. He's unable to get a piece of that centering pass, and now a chance for the Vaughan Kings as this one is deflected up. And no, they do not get this puck on net as Arjun Nanenbai retains possession for the Senators, dumping this one towards the boards. Knight is the forechecker here for the Senators. A battle behind the net, and it is the Senators that come up with it. With it now is Zielinski, sending it over to Nanenbai. A shot in front, centering pass, scores! Once again, Jacob Kalinske. He cuts the lead to 1, and ladies and gentlemen, we got a game.
We got a game indeed. I think there's just under a minute left to go in this one. Holy crap, what a goal. What a big-time goal from Jacob Zielinski. You saw a lot of players, both on the Senators and on the Kings, crammed on that near side boards area. Just a great, I'm almost speechless here. I can't even talk. A great job from the Senators to find Kalinske on that far side for an easy tap-in goal. It's 1-goal game now.
My goodness, this game has been exciting, and Jacob Kalinske, after being absolutely robbed by Stokes earlier in this game, has put 2 of his own on net. Not much time left to go here in the third. Can the Senators find one more? That's Zielinski with it. With 40 seconds left to go in the third period, Zielinski has it through the neutral zone. He dumps this one over to Knight. Knight and Zielinski skating like a bat out of hell to get this one over to the side. That is Kalinske with it now. Kalinske, pass over to Nanenbai. Nanenbai surveying his options. Nanenbai, a shot in front, trying to get the long stretch pass sent down the length of the ice. Will it be enough? Yes, it will, as there will be 13.5 seconds remaining in the third period and a face-off inside.
I don't want to knock the strategy of the Senators as they do have 3 goals in this one. However, those cross-ice passes, when you have 5 defenders guarding those cross-ice passes, are not the best play to make. Maybe try to send one up to the point to the quarterback there.
As Lemma can't win this faceoff, but the Sens, they do retain possession. Nanenbai, shot from the point through traffic, hits a leg, batting it out of the air were the Senators. The Vaughan Kings get this out of the zone, and this may be enough. The Sens would need a miracle here, but that will do it as we see some pushing and shoving, but it will not matter as the Vaughan Kings close this one out. Let's talk about this miraculous game in the booth.
What a game that was between the Sens and the Kings. The Kings, they start out this one 3-0, but for Kalinske, Zielinski, and Nanenbai, just not enough to get by Stokes and the Vaughan Kings. Simon, what are your initial thoughts after that one?
Well, we saw the Vaughan Kings go up 3-0 early in this game. You thought the fat lady may have already sung, but Kalinske, Zielinski, who were on the ice the entire time together, which was awesome to call. Just kidding. They were great to watch. They said, not so fast, everybody. We're going to make this a game. Came crawling back, tied the game, but Liam Watt potting the game-winning goal. One of the best games of this GTHL season early on. I think that's pretty fair to say. Just a great game all around.
Absolutely, Simon. I did not hear your mom singing any time during that game.
Okay.
And now
All right.
Let's take a look at the 3 stars of the game. Simon, you have a handful to choose from, but first star may be obvious. Let's run through the next 2.
Yeah, for the third star of the game, I have Kane Cloutier. He had a goal, a pretty important goal at that to put his team up by multiple goals early in the game. And he was just all over the ice. He had some great two-way plays there, breaking up some offensive rushes by the Mississauga Senators. Just a great all-around game from Kane Cloutier. Second star of the game, have to shout out a Mississauga Senator, and who else but Jacob Kalinske. We were talking about it on the broadcast. I think he had 2 or 3 breakaways before he was able to pot his first of 2 goals in this game. He was an offensive force, just putting himself in the right position at the right times, and that's what great players do. And we thought that it would be one of his games he'd like to forget, but even though they lost, a great game nonetheless with 2 goals. And our first star of the game, none other than defenseman Liam Watt, our player to watch earlier in this broadcast. He potted 2 goals, including a beautiful end-to-end goal and the game winner. Liam Watt, hats off to you for an amazing game. For star of the game from the Six Hockey. I'm sure you're going to cherish that for the rest of your life.
Yeah, some people, they win a Stanley Cup. Some people get Six Hockey's first star of the game. Liam Watt, he opened the scoring and closed the scoring. Just as we open this broadcast, we'll close it as well. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, go Six Hockey, go Vaughan Kings, go Mississauga Senators, go Simon Sticky Hands Hendricks.
Oh my God.
Go Sammy Brzezowski. Have a good night.